Good morning and welcome back to my Saskatchewan garden. Well, the cleanup begins. I'm going to be doing small bits of each section to show you today, and then on Sunday we're planning on having a bit of a work bee with some friends here. So we will show you a lot more that day. You can see hyssop gets a very good stem on it. It's kind of a little bit of a woody plant. Very nice when it's in bloom too. The bees and bugs love it. Flea beetles like it too, so do not put any cabbage related things next to it. Hyssop being a perennial, and this one is now, well, we started it in 2019, so it's had 5 full seasons and winters. It's definitely well established. I can cut it to the ground now early in the spring before it starts to grow back again, and it'll come back from its roots. And you hear the chainsaw? That's Tom getting started on next winter's firewood. Here we are in the middle of one of the garden patches, as long as one of the cats. I'll be cutting down some of the smaller dandelions. Haha, very funny. Sunflowers. You can see them. Oh, that's my cart. Where are they? You can barely see them. You can kind of see them back there. We'll get a close-up. Here are the ones in the very back end of the garden. It's the north end. These are 2 different kinds, red velvet, or no, was it Velvet Queen? One of the 2. It's a red colored petal on them. And then those super tall things, that one with the big head and the really tall ones there, which at the moment, those ones got to about 8 foot last year. 8 or 9 feet, I think. Those are Mongolian giant sunflowers. And when I'm planting, you'll see how big those seeds are. They are about, they can be up to 1 inch long. They're huge. That's worth snacking on. Down here, you see that mound in the middle that I was telling you about last time. Well, you almost can't see it on the camera because it's so covered in tall grass and stuff. I'm going to probably get that whipped down over the weekend here. This was the back end of the other garden back here. That's where I had potatoes last year, where you see that grass mulch. They did great under that. They do great under mulch. They really do. There's the black oil sunflower across the back here. You can get a better look at those. And a view up and around the yard with all our myriad trucks that we are fixing. As you can see, it's a bit of a struggle for me, and I'll get into that later. But and that also ties into some long-term plans for this garden. I say that actually is going to work very well for what I want to do. A definite improvement. And what better thing than to use the last year's weed growth as mulch for this year to prevent more weeds. I think that's a win-win. I also wanted to show you this deal that we got from Lehman's down in Ohio. Yes, it cost a pretty penny to have that shipped up here because of shipping costs. But let me go set this camera down and I'll show you what good it does. You just lay this here. It's got quite a blade on it. And it will really get at that soil for you and cut everything off at the surface. And you can just leave it there. I absolutely love that. It is going to take no time to work my rows up. What a nice blade. It's got some, kind of got a bit of dirt on it, but if you look really closely, it's notched so that it can grab things. I mean, the V-notch itself grabs things too. I mean, this just slices. That's a fairly sharp blade. It's good, sturdy. Oh my, that's at least 1/8 inch steel on that. Double pinned on the shaft. It's an ash handle. They do all ash handles at Lehman's. Really nice stuff. These are Amish made. A lot of their tools and goods are Amish made. You have to check them out. Lehmans.com. Lehmans. Well, that ends my day outside. It's raining now. Literally minutes after that last clip. I'm just in the greenhouse having a look, but everything's all doing well. There's no new sprouts yet. Give you a view outside at that little bit of rain. Oh, thought I stepped on a cat. If you see, I don't know if you can see, but definitely some overcast in the video. I don't know if you can see that rain very well. We're definitely dripping off the side of the greenhouse here. But I'll get it back under the roof. We have a visiting cat. She was here last year. Hey, kitty. Come here. She's very friendly. She's a sweet little kitty. She's got some sinus issues, but I think she wintered at the neighbors. She might have come from the neighbors to the north because they have lots of gray colors in their cats. Yeah, she's a nice little kitty. She absolutely loves attention. Oh, I must show you. Old Mom sleeping in the box. She will take any box that is available. But speaking of what I was thinking of before, what I brought up in my last video. Anyhow, while I sit here in the greenhouse and deal with this kitty, I'll tell you about my thoughts. As you noticed at the beginning of the video, I actually have one of those mobility scooters. Now, we came by that. Oh, kitty, no, don't bump the camera. Running right into the legs. We came by that as a freebie because Tom was working for a company up in Yorkton that does sales and repairs of mobility equipment for people. And a lady came in with a problem with her scooter that I think it wasn't charging right, or I forget what the problem was, but anyhow, she decided to buy a brand new one, and she gave this one to Tom because she didn't have any use for it. So $2,200 of free scooter later, I have one, and he fixed whatever the problem was. So we are quite thankful for that lady being that generous. Now I come by my injuries perfectly honestly because I mean a couple of accidents about 18, 19 years ago, and then just a couple of years ago I was moving a chicken shelter and I pulled something in my back very badly that I just haven't been able to get treatment for. So I've been hobbling around here for 2 years doing all the necessary work the hard way. And then last year we got this scooter, which has helped immensely for trucking things across the yard for me. It was absolutely perfect, actually. So now my thinking is, and last year, because I've been thinking of, okay, raised beds would probably make sense in that north-facing slope of the garden to keep the frost from doing so much damage. And then I thought raised beds would be perfect if it's at a height you could work from a scooter or a chair for somebody with mobility problems like I have, or like other people if they wanted to come and visit and garden if they aren't able to garden where they are. So I think that's my long-term plan for the garden, is figuring out my raised bed plan. This kitty is really annoying sometimes. She's sweet, but she's annoying. You are. But I'd really like to do that to prove that you don't have to be super able physically to have some form of gardening. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of disabled, as it were, people that garden in some form, however small it might be. It's a garden to them. So I'd like to go there with that idea. It's going to take a lot of expense and labor, but if we have help, it might just come to fruition very soon. As you saw from the way I was working the garden prep, I think it may go very quickly this year, because I don't want to remove all that mulch material. I want to use it to my advantage. I found that weeds can be an advantage in some cases. They can keep your plants from being too dried out. I mean, okay, they shade some plants that maybe don't like it. They can keep bugs away, or at least from completely destroying your plants. We had fairly big infestation of grasshoppers last year, and while they did eat parts of my plants, they didn't do devastating damage in any way. So, because they had lots of weed material to eat. The only things I have major problems with, though, are the cabbage moth caterpillars and the flea beetles, which both love brassicas and anything that's remotely related to them. Why I mentioned the hyssop, and because I made the mistake the one year of planting my cabbage in the bed next to the hyssop, and it was devastated by flea beetles, and I thought, oh crap. I was looking up the companion planting, and that's exactly what it was. It was the hyssop. If you want to use a trap crop, you have to have it away from the things that you want to keep the bugs off of. So that is one big key here. I'm trying to arrange my garden plan so that those plants that are most susceptible get the best protection. But I will let you go, and you just have yourself a great day, and we will see you on Sunday or Monday, whenever that I do put the video up. It may be Monday before it goes up, and we'll have a little bit of a work bee if the family is so inclined to allow their kids to be on YouTube. Talk to y'all later.